Charles E. Fuller was a minister and radio evangelist who founded the Fuller Theological Seminary in Pasadena, California. He was converted by Paul Rader in 1917 at the Church of the Open Door in Los Angeles and almost immediately began holding revivals in the western United States. Fuller was in the fruitpacking business when he entered the Bible Institute of Los Angeles and was respected as a Bible teacher in the community. He was also very successful in radio, launching his radio business in 1925. By 1926, Fuller had made enough money to purchase a 20-acre orange grove just outside of Placentia, California, for $82,375. That's $1.4 million in today's money. He also purchased the baby Gar Black Beauty, named one of the finest speedboats in Southern California, noted for speeds up to 50 miles per hour in the water. Fuller used his religious platforms to push political agendas, discussing political party affiliation and political issues, receiving great skepticism in the local newspapers. In 1928, Fuller was very outspoken against presidential candidate Alfred Emanuel Smith in his run against Herbert Hoover. Smith was the first Roman Catholic to be nominated for President of the United States by a major party, causing strong divisions among Catholic and anti-Catholic voters. Fuller was definitely on the anti-Catholic side of the issue. He was very active in Gerald Burton Winrod's Defenders of the Christian Faith. Winrod, known as the Kansas Hitler and Jayhawk Nazi, was also well known for mixing religion and politics. Winrod was connected to William Branham through F. F. Bosworth, Paul Rader, and Roy E. Davis. Branham helped promote Charles Fuller's Old-Fashioned Revival Hour program and held revivals with Fuller.
Charles Fuller, how many ever heard the Old-Fashioned Revival Hour? Great man. He says not long ago, he said, we have the speaking in tongues interpretation right here. Right there in Long Beach, and that's true. I've preached right there with him many times.
As an almost yearly speaker for the Defenders Conventions, Fuller's theology was aligned with the earliest versions of William Branham's stage persona. Branham was also actively preaching the combination of religion and politics made popular by Paul Rader and Gerald Winrod in the Defenders of the Christian Faith. Fuller held lectures on British Israelism. His lectures included the subject of faith healing, prophecy, Russia, doomsday, and most importantly, on prophecy concerning Mussolini and the Vatican. Winrod was also very outspoken against Mussolini leading up to his arrest as a conspirator in the Great Sedition trial of 1944, and Branham claimed that he was almost arrested for the same.
People were living in the end time. How many of you people heard years ago down here when they was going to have me arrested down here for preaching on that mark of the beast? When I said it, Mussolini, when he first came in power 20-some-odd years ago, I said, if Mussolini ever goes towards Ethiopia, mark this down, there will never be peace till Jesus Christ comes.
Charles Fuller was a leader in the fundamentalists of the world, of which Roy Davis and Gerald Burton Winrod served as directors. The 13th Annual Convention was held at the Church of the Open Door at the Bible Institute of Los Angeles, of which Fuller was a director. Fuller was in charge of the 14th Annual Convention of the Fundamentalists in Philadelphia in 1931. He was also active in the Christian and Missionary Alliance circles, holding conclaves at the Christian Missionary Alliance churches. In the months leading up to the Great Sedition trial of 1944, Fuller purchased the Franklin School grounds for $90,000, announcing that he would erect a Bible school to train evangelists. Whether due to his connection to Winrod and others named in the sedition trial, or due to coincidence, the Bible school was put on hold. Shortly after William Branham's March 1947 revivals held in Santa Rosa, California, however, the Fuller Foundation bid $145,000 for the estate of John S. Cravens, and began preparations to open the Fuller Theological Seminary. It was about that time, or shortly before, when William Branham met with Fuller. According to Branham, he discussed various cults in the areas, including Father Divine. Interestingly, a portion of Branham's recording and transcript has been edited out.
Brother Charles Fuller was speaking to me when I was down in Long Beach, and he told me, said, Brother Branham, said the reason, said, this West Coast here has everything under the name of divine healing. Said they have blue flame worshipers, Father Divine worship, and everything under the name of divine healing. Said it's such a stumbling block. Well, that may be so, friends, I do not know, but that does not counteract God's power to heal and the healer divine. And now, no man can do a miracle in His name that can speak right of Him.
By June of that same year, heads of the Fuller Theological Seminary were named, and classes were scheduled to open in October. Dr. Harold John Okanga was named president, and other members were Dr. Reverend Harold Lenzel, Dr. Everett F. Harrison, Dr. Carl F. H. Henry, and Doctor of Divinity Wilbur M. Smith. Over the years, Fuller Seminary has produced ministries either supportive of, affiliated with, or strongly influenced by one of many versions of William Branham's stage persona. Many leaders of the third wave of Pentecostalism have close ties with Fuller Theological Seminary. According to William Branham, Charles Fuller initially rejected the healing revival, and later accepted it and preached it.
Charles Fuller, as much as he fussed and carried on to me about that when I was out there, he's accepted it now. And they're doing it on the Long Beach, yes sir, right in the auditorium. Having blessings of God, speaking in tongues, interpretation of tongues, and praying for the sick. And he stood face to face with me and said, Brother Branham, I don't believe in that stuff. I said, well, it's up to you. It's not for unbelievers, Brother Fuller. It's for those who believe. And now he's preaching the same thing. It's coming to a time, there's a showdown.
C. Peter Wagner, who named the collective movements associated with Branham and the second and third wave of Pentecostalism as the New Apostolic Reformation, was a director at Fuller. John Wimber joined Wagner to teach a course on healing at Fuller, provoking controversy over signs and wonders in Christian ministry.